Hello, beautiful people, and thank you for joining this session of 3 Queries and a Quote, our video series demonstrating how to bring your log data to life with powerful queries and a profound quote. Let's dive in. For DevOps, the ability to resolve incidents quickly is key. A big part of this is being able to map application and infrastructure incidents to the point of origin. By leveraging event and data manipulation query functions, developers can take a set of events and modify those values from a query pipeline. This capability is extremely useful when building a virtual trail back to points of failure, especially when an outage happens, leaving all DevOps teams guilty until proven innocent. For our mock scenario today, we're going to step into the shoes of an e-commerce developer named Brian. He was just slacked about a spike in customer complaints, and the first complaint came in about 30 minutes ago, stating that stock numbers for books was not available and the checkout function was non-existent. Now keep in mind, with the average outage costing about $5,600 per minute, Brian's goal is to find the point of origin and deliver it to his peers as quickly as possible. Here's how the Humio log management platform can help with 3 event and aggregation functions. Alright, so the 3 functions we'll use include first, select, which is used to specify a set of fields to select from each event. Then you have group by, which groups events by specific fields and executes aggregate functions on each group. Mouthful, but I'll teach you. And then last, we'll use the table function that is used to create a widget to present data in a table. Pretty cool stuff. Let's see how it works. So the first query that Brian is going to run is actually going to be used to filter down to just the get methods. And he's also going to use the select function that we mentioned earlier, also to gather all status codes for the day, along with timestamps for a 1,000-foot view of exactly what's going on. So we see that after running the first query that Brian has a plethora of status codes to look through, and it's kind of jumbled, right? You got some 100s, some 200s, some 3s and 4s, but now he wants to group it, and he uses the group by function in order to make that happen. He even gets a count as well, which is pretty cool. But in order to get even more deeply involved with what he can find in terms of context, he wants to solely look at the 400 plus, because of course those are the error codes that could potentially cause some application issues with the customer's ordering books. So he's going to run status code with that are greater or equal to 400. And now he has an awesome count of exactly what those status codes are. Now the next step is to take this data and figure out how can he go about placing it in a manner that's ingestible for the rest of his team by using the table function that we talked about. But there are a couple steps that he wants to take before that. So what he's using now is the free text functionality that you can think about sort of like a Google search, but in Humio. So by typing in books, Humio actually allows him to look at just the URLs that has books within the address, which is super powerful. So to give his team better insight into what he's seeing through the error codes and even the URLs, he's going to put it in a table using the table function that we talked about earlier as well. So he's going to build that table to provide insight to his team for the URL, the timestamps that are associated, and even the method that was put forth in order to provide that event within the Humio platform. And we got a couple of different ones, so we got to clean this up a little bit, and he is definitely going to make that happen by using another function called sort. And sort is going to actually provide those timestamps that he needs and also give him a sense of order for those events as well. Now, as we saw, 3 event and aggregate functions can help identify where errors reside in your logs. By leveraging these functions, Brian identified the most prevalent error codes within the 30-minute time frame and the book URLs associated. Brian also exported this data via the table function, which helped to bring down mean time to resolve. But not only that, it also helped to get that information over to his ops peers as well, which is super helpful. That wraps up our time for today for queries, but I want to leave you with a Humio customer quote that complements our scenario from today with Brian. This one comes from Ryan Neal, who's the head of infrastructure over at Netlify. Brian states that being able to share contextual knowledge through things like saved searches, dashboards, common queries, and things like that enabled my operations team to run faster and helped our engineering team build more tools for support and sales. Be sure to catch our next video tutorial by smashing the like button and subscribe to the Humio YouTube channel. You can run these same powerful queries on your own as well by signing up for Humio's Community Edition, which allows you to ingest 16 gigabytes of data per day and retain it for 7 days. And not only that, you can uncover tons more about Humio by visiting our community site, aka The Nest, and by following us on Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook. Until we meet next time, beautiful people, you be safe, You be blessed. See you soon.